This wood, you literally cannot buy anymore. It's 100-year-old old growth redwood, rot resistant, historic, and rare. And I had just enough of it left to build a frame for these massive gates. When it came to the paneling, I ran out. To finish the gates, I used modern lumber that looked bright pink against this beautiful frame. This was not the look that I wanted. I had to do something drastic. To make the new stuff fit with the old, I'm putting aside the stain and reaching for a torch. The pink has to go. We're using fire to turn these new panels into a dark backdrop that finally lets the reclaimed redwood shine. The pink is out and the charcoal is in. Let's go. I go into it more in other videos, but thanks to a friend, I was able to salvage a stack of old growth redwood and use it on multiple projects, including our kitchen table. I have just enough left to build the frames for these two gates. It takes some time and work to get these boards beautiful again, but it is well worth it. It's been exciting at times to see if any nails were missed before sending these old boards through the planer, but I've got most of them. My milling process was to plane both sides, rip one side with the track saw, rip the opposite side with the table saw, and then back to the first side to rip that with the table saw. I had a rough idea of what style of gates I wanted to build, but I wasn't exactly sure of the design. When deciding on the joinery, I wanted to challenge myself, but I also wanted to keep things pretty simple and quick since I needed two gates and they're pretty big. They're 6 feet by 6 feet. I finally settled on half lap joints. They're strong because of all the glue surface area, and they're quicker and easier than some of the other joints I was considering. I started by making a jig to cut the half laps with a router, but then I tried another jig, but it just got too complicated, so I scratched that idea. Somewhere along the way, I decided to fill the old nail holes with epoxy, and I'm glad that I did. It looks much nicer and hopefully will allow these gates to last even longer. For me, it's a time-consuming process, but it's totally worth it. Once the redwood was milled to the size I wanted, I went with a more simple approach to cut the half-lap joints. I measured where the shoulder should be, and then I used my track saw to make clean crosscuts to the exact depth that I needed. This was really easy with the saw. I don't remember dialing in the depth to this level of precision before, but I got it spot on. Next, I then set the bandsaw fence to about the same depth to rip this section out that needed to be removed. If I had a sliding miter saw with a depth stop, I probably would have used that to make these joints, but I don't, and this was the next easiest option for me. My bandsaw didn't leave a very clean face on these joints, so I cleaned them up with a chisel and block plane. Next, I needed to prepare to glue up the frames. All four corners of each gate will be half-lap joints, but the middle horizontal cross piece will be glued in with mortise and tenons. I planned to use my domino, but since I didn't have any for exterior use, I needed to make my own. This horizontal piece needed to be glued in on the first glue up, and then the top will be left open for now. For this project, I'm going to make my own dominoes. I need 8 this size and a bunch this size. The reason I needed to make my own dominoes is because the standard dominoes aren't recommended for exterior use because of the type of wood that they are. Buying dominoes made for exterior use are pretty expensive, and since I have plenty of scrap cutoffs to use, I decided to make my own. The center cross support will need some larger tenons. For these, I'm using some scrap mahogany, which should be good if it gets wet. Using my bandsaw and planer, I got the thickness and the width that I needed, and with the block plane, I was able to refine the shape. With the dominoes ready to go, I could finally glue up the first section of the frames. This middle cross piece took more effort than usual. My custom-made dominoes may have had something to do with that. I made them a little tight. I added extensions to a couple of the pipe clamps to get enough clamping force to pull each side together. The bottom will have half-lap joints on each side connecting it to the two sides, and the top will as well. The top will need to be glued in later to connect the two sides, but the rails will need to be added at that time, so next was to make all of those. These rails were the one part of the design that I was certain about from the start. I think they add a nice style. I tested a few different lengths and chose what I thought looked best. With my redwood stash running low, I started digging through every small piece and offcut that I had left to make the rails. They add visual interest, but they also connect the two upper gate frame pieces together. Each piece needed to be milled to the right thickness, then trimmed to width and length. I thought I'd make a cool montage of ripping all these out, but I left a blue towel, the one that I used to dust off my work area, in front of my stack of gate rails. The idea was good, but the execution was poor. I'll try to make this quick. The opening, 61 inches divided by 15. That equals about 4 and a 16th, so I made a spacer. After some math and trial and error, I ripped the red scrap plywood to the width I needed on center between each rail. This was the best approach since I was using the Domino to cut mortises anyway, and that tool lines up on the center line. I then added a 90-degree lip on one end, and that became my jig for marking each rail's center location. After marking each location on one side, I used a long T-ruler to line up the marks on the other side since I didn't make the jig long enough to mark both sides. Each rail needed a domino on the top and bottom, so to cut 2 mortises in each one. If you're doing the math, that's 28 total on the 14 rails. The center crosspiece and the top of the frame also needed mortises, so that's 28 more. It definitely added up. I made smaller dominoes for all of these, and I even ordered a router bit to help speed up the process. It did help since I needed so many. These holes didn't get filled with epoxy, so I filled them with black CA glue. I usually do a dry glue up first to make sure everything fits and that I have everything that I need. I did as much of that as I could, but it was tough with 14 rails that all had to go in at once. Luckily, even though I second-guessed myself a few times, everything fit pretty well with only a few moments of mass panic. And yes, I did this all again on a second gate. Of course, large gates need more than just an outer frame to keep from sagging, so I needed to add some bracing to each gate. A smarter person would have milled material for these with all the rest of the milling, but here I am, starting over, planing, cutting, resawing, filling nail holes, and planing again. Super fun when you're in the middle of a project. Finally, with a couple of boards ready to go, I put one gate frame up on some spacers with a brace piece underneath it, lined up where I wanted it to go. Then I marked the angles with some nice dark lines. My miter saw couldn't quite cut these angles, so they got trimmed with a pull saw. The brace will get glued in diagonally to sturdy up the frame, but first strips will need to be added to the bottom and top so I can attach the gate paneling to these later on. These got marked the same way as the braces and glued in with the dominoes to keep them aligned. Once the glue dried, I could use a hand plane to clean up each surface and make sure each piece was even and flat. Next, both gates got sanded, and then I applied a water-based spar urethane. Spraying might have been faster, but brushing it on worked well for me as I could apply it inside and at night. To finally add paneling to the bottom sections, I went to a big box store and I got some redwood fence pickets, thinking that I could just plane them down and add finish and screw them in, but then I got this. I didn't set up my good microphone here, but this is me explaining that I made a poor choice thinking that new redwood fence pickets, plain smooth, would work well with the old growth redwood frame. After a quick lapse of judgment, thinking that I could stain these redwood panels, I realized what I needed to do. I needed to light them on fire. There is no way of matching the reclaimed old growth redwood, so I knew a contrasting color would need to be the route to go. Burning the wood not only turns it black, but it creates a carbonized surface layer that acts as a protective barrier against moisture, insects, rot, and UV damage. I took that last part straight from Google. Burning with a torch is accurate and effective, but as you can see, it isn't exactly efficient. For this purpose, I'm not a wood burning expert, but I knew there had to be another way. We'd had some rain recently, and my area isn't currently on fire like it is during fall, summer, or spring, so I lit up the chimney and tried this method. I'm not sure if it was faster, but it was definitely more fun. This ended up working great to burn both ends. I had to go back later to get the middle of some of the boards with the torch. With the gates hung from some reclaimed Douglas fir posts, I could finally add the paneling and finish off the fence. Next, I needed a way to keep the gates closed. We won't use these gates often, so to keep the gates closed, I decided a simple latch would work for now, at least. I milled some more redwood and then cut it into 2 pieces. Then I cut out a block on each piece to turn them into a figure L shape, much like I did for the half lap joints. Then I screwed one to each gate and added one of these. I don't know what it's called, so I looked it up. It's a drop rod, a cane bolt, or a gate drop pin. With the latch installed, this project is done. Hopefully these gates will last a long time, keep our potential future dogs in, and keep all the potential zombies out. Now that this is the nicest looking part of our house, I need to get to work on the next project. Thank you so much for watching. Watch one of these other builds next.